Another random Redbox rental that is also currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Pitchfork. I'd seen this in the Redbox a couple times. The cover looked interesting enough. I liked the whole idea of a guy having a pitchfork for an arm. He literally has like his hand cut off and a pitchfork like just shoved in there, and then it's tied on with barbed wire. And I guess they were out of tape. And then he's wearing like a, I don't know, it's kind of like a bunny dog type, like almost like a masquerade ball made of fur with ears, and that's of course tied on with barbed wire as well. I thought the killer looked pretty cool. A lot of people give him shit, think it's stupid, but I thought that was actually pretty cool. And that's about the best I have to say about this movie. This movie is a perfect example of what pisses me off about horror, like modern day horror. If you're going to make a movie like this, if you're going to make a movie that's ridiculous and has a ridiculous character as the killer and ridiculous characters, and if you're going to make a film like this, you're going to have to include lots of tits, and especially, even if you don't have tits, especially a good amount of gore. You have got to give the horror fans what they want to sit through a movie like this. Now you could be saying like, oh, come on, man, it's just low budget, this and that. No, the movie actually looks like it has a pretty decent budget. It looks really good. I mean, really good, like theater quality. It looks like great production value. So it's got good cinematography. It's got obviously a good crew on board and this and that. And there is a scene in this movie where, really quick, the movie, to give you the deep, complex plot line of this movie, a guy travels back to his home. This kid travels back to his home in the country to tell his parents that he's gay. And so he brings like 5 or 6 of his dickhead friends with him. And they're classic horror movie archetype, the jock, the slut, the good girl, the nerd. Ugh. Why do they always have to do that? Oh well. And as I said, that's fine, but give us gore, give us tits. There are like 50 gorgeous women in this movie. They're at this dance and whatever, and then there's like every main character chick is super beautiful, and they hint at tits a lot, and it never happens. And you're just like, why? Why? But anyway, there's a scene in this movie later on where, that's the plot, by the way, that's it. They get there, and then they decide to have like a barn dance, a gay barn dance. That's it. And then while the dance is going on in their barn, because that'll get country dad to, give in. The dad dies like instantly anyway, so plot, there is no plot. Which, as I said, this kind of movie, you don't really need a plot. You need a very basic like motive. Get them there and kill them. Personally, that's not what I prefer, but there's tons of movies like that I love, and it's mostly because the kills are so ridiculous and the characters are so fun. None of that is the truth here. There's a scene where they're in the barn, and there is a full-on, straight-up, choreographed country like dance scene, and it's shot like a country music video, and it's a good like 2.5 minutes long, and it looks great. I mean, if it was a country music video, I would be like, I'm not into that stuff, but it looks like a really well made country music video. Why the fuck it's in this movie, I have no clue. I actually went to the extreme of looking online to see if this guy had done music videos before this, or maybe he was just comfortable in that and he wanted to throw one in, but I couldn't find one. So why it's in here, it's silly in the moment, and I think if there was, yet again, I'm going to keep going back to this, if there was tons of like fun gore, because the killer is sadistic, man. He's like fucking, fucking with the bodies when they're dead. He's like still taunting them as they're on the ground dead, like getting in their face, and and then he's like sexually molesting chicks he's got tied up, but he never pulls their tits out. And any gore or any kills that are done, it's all done like either off screen or just a bunch of blood's thrown up out of the out of the shot. There's like one single scene of like gore, sort of, and it looks like it's mostly CGI composite. It's super lame. But my God, towards the end of this movie, the last 30 minutes of this movie, like the first hour is stupid and whatever, but the last hour or the last half an hour of this movie is shockingly bad. The dialogue, the reactions of characters, like I get it. It's silly horror. It's not supposed to be realistic. Characters aren't supposed to react realistically. But Jesus Christ, man. Like, the things that happen towards the end with characters and their dialogue towards certain things, as I said, their reactions are just, you want to scream and throw shit at the television. It's so stupid. I will say, though, in the last 30 minutes, there is a hilarious golden shower scene. And yes, it is what you think I mean. There's a girl in the movie who has a fetish to fucking Amish guy. And she accomplishes that goal by fucking him in his buggy. There's little things in here that are funny and cute and interesting. And I feel like with the high production value and the crew involved and such, that this could have been a really good time. They had a unique killer. They had what seems to be enough money to do it. Like if they would have just taken the money from the Dixie Chicks video and spent that on gore and maybe some chicks that would actually, bear all for it, that we would actually had a watchable, fun recommendation. Like, hey, this movie's kind of stupid, but it's got really cool gore and it's got some great chicks and there's some fun dialogue, but it has none of those things, and then it's just shockingly bad towards the end. So, Jesus Christ, don't watch it. You can watch certain parts of it, edit together a little montage of hilariously awful scenes, but like sitting through it is torturous at length. So I definitely don't recommend it. All right.